Yeah, so it's Christmas, you know, the day we celebrate Jesus' birth, even though he wasn't born anywhere near December, and it's technically a pagan ritual based on Saturnalia and all those types of things. Anyway, that's a side story. But as a Christmas gift, you know, last night we had a huge rainstorm. It was actually raining all day long, and it got pretty windy. And I've already dealt with this once this year, but this is what I ran into as a Christmas gift, you know, this morning. That is the roof of my chicken coop. That's now not on my chicken coop anymore. Let's just say, as you can see, it's a bit, we now have a bit of a sunroof in the chicken coop. So I got to get that fixed. I don't know exactly why it happened because it was weighted and I think also screwed down. So we'll have to figure out what we can do about that to fix it. But yeah, that's not exactly a fun way to start Christmas, but I just left it here, whatever. You know, chickens are warm enough. It's not rainy today. It's in the afternoon. We've played with all of our new toys so far. I'm actually using one right now. The wife got me a little tripod thing that I'm holding so it's more steady. So maybe the videos will be better for you. But also, I mean, just look at that bird. Look at him. He's great. He's so pretty. Anyway, and we got this guy. Well, it's a girl technically, but you're right. Let's see how many eggs we got today. Ooh. Love eggs. Okay. All right. So to figure out what the damage is here, I think technically all that happened was, I think, there was two pieces. So there's three sets. So it'd be, you know, one set here, right? So there'd be 1, 2, 3, and there was a long piece and then a short piece because that's all I had. I made this entire coop technically out of pallets. I took the pallets, I broke them down with the nifty tool that I will show you at some point. And so the entire coop is made strictly out of pallets and or leftover scrap wood that I scavenged from dumpsters and those types of things. So it was essentially free. I wanted a coop that I could walk into and clean very well. I don't have enough room to do moving the chickens every day with the size flock that I have. So I developed a stationary coop that's central to 4 separate paddocks. And I'll go over that more in depth and detail with you at some point. But today it's really just about, you know, making sure we get this roof back on. So it's actually starting to flurry. It's getting a little cold, so I'm going to stop talking to you and start doing some work. Okay? Okay, so that was quicker than I expected it to go, so I figured I might as well just show you the coop now, and then maybe if I make some updates to it or improve it a little, we can go over that. I'm still getting used to my thing, and I don't know, is that right? No, that's not right. 9, 12 chicks. Okay, I think that's better. That should be less about me. Yeah. So as I was saying, that didn't take me very long. So let's just go ahead and show you the coop now, and you can get an idea of what we're doing. So I'll give you a walk around. So like I said, I have 4 paddocks, okay, that are currently mud and weeds. There's one that has some crabgrass, what I call crabgrass in it. Kind of sucks, but it's not great grass, but at least it's something that the bugs can hide in during the spring. but we have 4 paddocks. So this is one. Okay. And each one of these paddocks has a door to the coop. So I'm doing rotational grazing, essentially, by only opening one door to the coop per week. So every week I change the position, I change the paddock that they're in. So that gives a total of 21 days of rest per paddock after the rotations. Chickens are either fighting or mating. Sometimes it sounds very alike. Maybe. Okay. So I just have some cup hooks that I placed on either end, and then I just hook them like that. And then when it's nighttime, I come out, or the boy comes out, and we lock it so that they can't get out, and hopefully things can't get in. We don't have too much predator pressure here because we are kind of in the suburbs, so we don't have that big of an issue. So like I said, all of this was made out of pallets. So we just took the boards. A lot of times we're able to use the nails from the pallets themselves. So here's another door that we have, and I mean, look how easy that is. I mean, this is a random piece of wood that my daughter found, and she made the lock for it. Now, is that going to keep out like a bobcat or something? Of course not, right? But like I said, I don't have that much pressure, so I don't really have to worry about, you know, huge issues. You know, could a raccoon maybe figure out how to do that and pull at it and get it to unloose? Probably. But like I said, I really don't have that much pressure. So with one nail and a scrap piece of wood from, I don't know, probably a pallet or something like that, you know, we made a lock. This is just some extra board that we had. You know, what is that, a 25-cent cup hook, right? 50-cent hinge, and I got a door. So there's a second door, and that leads into this paddock here, okay? And this is our mobile coop, I guess you'd call it. It's a play barn that we turned into a chicken coop for either nesting purposes, or if there's an injured one or one that's being feisty, we can get it out and put it in there. So next year, hopefully, when we're doing our, looks like our lock came off of this, but whatever, boom, locked. Looks like when we're doing our breeding, we can actually take a specific flock, separate them. Probably, you know, if we looked over the birds over here, I'd probably want to do my Australorps, and we can actually take Gigantosaur there and all of his lovely ladies and move them over into this a separate paddock from the main flock. Hey, I'm talking here, Gigantosaur. Thank you. And we can just shack them up in there in the mobile coop, the barn coop, and we'll be good to go. Okay. So this is my neighbor's farm. He just put up those small hoops, which is pretty cool. I think he was growing amaranth over there for most of the year, which is pretty awesome. But he has a couple of cows. I don't know what breed they are, but they're super furry and they look awesome. So they're nice neighbors to have. So this is one of the paddocks that they're in as well. This one doesn't really get any shade from the trees that we have here. And so we have that little teepee that we made for them. And these are actually all mulberry trees that are starting. If you look over there, there's a couple of mulberry. I don't know if I'm going to keep those or not, just because, you know, I think maybe this one might stay, and I'll get rid of these two that sort of self-sprouted. And that'll provide not only food for them, but also for us if we want to harvest those, and then also shade as well. So that'll be nifty, and that'll just sort of cover up and give them that shade area. And then we have a fourth paddock over there. And so what we did for doors, this is just welded wire fencing. This one's kind of been destroyed, as you can see. If you look here, it's all bent and stuff because a month or two ago we had the entire roof get blown off and fall into this, so we have to fix that up. Just hasn't gotten done yet, but we will. And so what we did for the gates, right, is we just wrapped around with some zip ties on a piece of PVC pipe, put a stake or some other smaller PVC, some wood in the ground, and then we just lift it off, move the gate, slide it back on, and then you're good to go. And so, I mean, this is just really easy stuff to do. And now the gate's open. This here, I don't know if you saw the previous video, but we had a big snowstorm, and it was snowing directly in the coop because of my ventilation windows here. So this is our temporary fix for that. I'll show you a video. You can see it right now. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is the back side of my chicken coop, okay? And we have a slight design flaw, and that is that the overhang is not covering it much because we have the wind driving from over in the east. So it's from the east coming to the west, right? And it's blowing directly into my coop, which is creating a problem that I didn't realize about a couple hours ago. So you can see there, I have some ventilation windows. Let's just walk around and I'll show you what I mean. I feel pretty bad about this currently, but hey, you know, we'll get it fixed up. And right now, it's coming directly in onto the birds, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to deal with that. But that's why I'm out here. So the plan is that I'm gonna take this tarp that I have here, and I'm gonna drape it over there, put some nails into there, and then clamp it. So that's gonna be the idea. I'll show you the finished product here when I'm done. Okay. So, outside of it being ridiculously cold, that's the neighbor's farm. It is kind of nice out. Look at that sky. But this is the fix. What I did is I just put a nail on that side and a nail over here. Put them through the rings, put a rock down to the bottom, and quick and easy fix. Not the prettiest of things, but it'll do. So then there's another door, and then the other door as well. So there's 4 separate paddocks that you can, we just open the door for whichever one we want. Okay. And then on the inside, this is our area. They do not come in this area here. Give you a better view of that here. Okay. I'm actually going to do a chicken garden right in this area here. This is going to be an area specifically where we grow some veg for them, just so we can throw it into their coops whenever we want. This is the nesting boxes, and I built it so we wouldn't have to get into the coop to access. Looks like we need to harvest some eggs here, but that's we're getting about what? How many eggs a day? 12, 13?
Yeah.
12, 13 eggs a day out of 18 chickens that are, you know, they're just, we got them this spring. So what are they, what, 6 months, something like that? And I'm happy with that in the dead of winter. I'll show you the inside here. Okay, let's take you inside here. We got some windows for ventilation, right? There's one of the doors that leads to the outside. There's another one, and another one, and the other one's behind the shade. So you can see there's 4 doors, okay? And those doors are what lead to each separate paddock that's sectioned off by fencing. We got an indoor dust bath just for when it's raining outside. Of course, the roosting bars, right? And then underneath, what we call our pooper scoopers, is actually I need to make a second one of this, but my buddy from work gave me an extra dog crate that he had, and it works out fine for now. But eventually, I'm going to add another roosting bar right here. So there's going to be 3 roosting bars when we get more chickens. But essentially, we put shavings on those. That's just some 1x1s, right? And then some shavings, and then we just collect all their manure that they drop down while they're roosting, and then we take it out to the compost. So there's actually doors on the back there. I can walk around and show you those that lift up, and we just pull them out like drawers, and then we take it over to our compost piles. So we're collecting all that manure and then taking it in there. So that makes it, you know, keeps it very nice and clean in here because we just remove all the manure, you know, every couple of days, once a week. We got the nesting boxes. Hi birds, good morning. So they're nice and happy in there. And that's the inside. This is to keep them out of the nesting box in case, you know, a couple of them want to start jumping in there and roosting on there. We had that problem early on, so we created just a gate and got that section up there. We have some grit in a bucket and also some additional oyster shell in a bucket if they don't get any extra egg scraps or get what they need from there. So that just keeps it inside so it stays out of the rain. And that's it. I mean, it's pretty low tech. Like I said, everything's made out of pallets. Just I broke down the pallets. These were long pallets that, you know, and it's, if you can look, it's not pretty. Like, but for me, it doesn't need to be. I might eventually paint the outside to make it look a tad bit nicer, but it's a chicken coop. Like, the chickens don't care what it looks like. It is functional, and it cost me very, very little money because all I had to buy was some additional nails and the tool to break down the skids, which I can show you that at some point too. So cool.
Listen, I know, you're so happy. It's a talkie, but it's quiet, okay? Thank you.
Anyway, so that's the inside of the coop. So that's it. I mean, we're rotationally grazing the chickens, giving them 4 different paddocks to hang out in. And eventually, like right now, as you can see, this is pretty much dirt, and we do get some weeds from now, you know, in the spring and in the summer. But what I want to do is actually go on to and get some chicken pasture seed. So it has things like clover and field pea and those types of things, and actually use that as the paddock cover, the pasture, quote unquote, so that they have something to eat instead of just, you know, grass, right? So that's the idea. Eventually make these, I'm not 100% sure they won't destroy it. If they're in here, you know, for a week and then they move and then 21 days later, hopefully that's enough time to let it grow back and they're not going to destroy it, but that's the plan. So that's the chicken area. I'll give you an update if I change anything, or, you know, when it's grassy and pasture-like instead of just dirt. But that's it. So, yeah.